Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to my wonderful, wonderful snowland, winter wonderland in the snow. I have been meaning to make this video for a while. It's top 10 essentials for emergency preparedness. And I didn't think we'd get any more snow this year. It's February up here in New England, and we've only had one blizzard, and this seems to be dropping some more formidable snow. It's not windy, but it's heavy snow. As you can see, the branches of my trees are hanging really low. Oh my gosh, it's so beautiful over here. Let's go over here. Look at that. That is so pretty. All right, so emergency preparedness. Now, mind you, this top 10 list is not a complete list. You're going to want to add things that are relevant to your area and subtract things that are not relevant. So, but it will help you if you're just starting out with prepping. Now, when I talk about prepping, I'm prepping for an emergency, for a natural disaster. You know, I want to keep my family safe. So I want to feel better knowing that I could keep my family safe and cared for. That's why I prep. And if you have these things, you won't need to fight the lines, oh my God, and the irrational people at the store, and then you won't get anything because it's going to be all gone. The shelves are going to be empty. So again, this is just a top 10 of the basics. You can add, you can, subtract more. Now let's first talk about emergencies. What kind of an emergency are we talking about here? Is it going to be weather related, like a blizzard, perhaps flooding? Maybe you live in a flood prone area. Maybe tornadoes. Maybe your area, you get a lot of tornadoes and you want to have some sort of plan for that. Hurricanes. We get a lot of hurricanes up this way. We haven't had any this year, thankfully, but you never know. We also can get tornadoes. It's happened before in Connecticut. Also, some people prep for when the shit hits the fan. Who knows? You never know what life brings you. Oh my God, this is so pretty. I love when the trees are hanging down low like this. That's cool. Kia, come on. All right, so whatever it is that you're prepping for, these are just some essentials, some basic essentials. My paper is getting wet and my ink is running, so I may go inside. Number 1, water. 4 gallons per person per day. That's for everything. That's for drinking, that's for cooking, and that's for cleaning. So water storage, it should be cool, it should be dark, it should be a clean area, and you should rotate it for freshness. Okay? You want to have, if you fill your own bottles of water, say you know a storm is coming and you have bottles, make sure it's a safe supply. Make sure it's in a clean food grade container. You want to seal it, label it, and date it. And then store it in a cool, dark area. And you're going to want to replace that every 6 months. When you buy water from the store, it's usually a year shelf life. Depending on your conditions, storage conditions, it may last longer. So, again, if you have a well, you're going to not have any water for flushing your toilet and or washing your body or showers. So you want to have what they call is a water bob. You put it in your bathtub and you fill it with water when you know a storm is coming and you anticipate losing power. And it comes with a pump, and you can pump the water out, and you could use that to flush your toilet. Perhaps you live in an apartment building where the water pressure is decreased and you won't be able to flush your toilet or have a shower, or the water's just not safe. You want to fill it up while it is, and then you'll have it. Alright, so worst comes to worst, you want to have some water collection containers, perhaps rain barrels, perhaps you should locate nearby streams, lakes, or springs, and then that brings me to water treatment. If you do go outside of your house, or say the water in your house isn't safe because the power's been out for a while and perhaps the water treatment centers haven't been working, you want to have some sort of water treatment. So you want to have filter, you want to be able to boil it, have alternate methods of boiling in case you do lose power, and perhaps chemicals. There's bleach you could use, which is I think a 1/4 teaspoon to 1 gallon of water. A 1/4 teaspoon of bleach. That would kill most pollutants and germs, as well as iodine tablets. You could pick those up in your camping section or your emergency preparedness section if your store has one. Let's talk about number 2, food. Storm's coming. Why run to the store only to find no water, no milk, no bread? And fight lines, spend too much money on junk food that you don't need. Now this snowfall that we're having right now, I didn't even know was coming. I actually was off today where it just worked out. But I have these things on hand all the time. Not a ton of fresh food because, I haven't done my grocery shopping for the week, but I have everything I need. So you want to have ready-to-eat food on hand always. PBJ, granola, tortillas, canned veggies, canned fruit, crackers, canned meats, oatmeal, Bisquick, cereal, Pop-Tarts, instant mash, rice, pasta, polenta, canned and powdered soup. Instant milk, people. It's been around for ages. It tastes just like fresh milk. It's powdered. You add water, you shake it up, and voila, you have milk. You keep that on hand, you never have to worry. All right, now, say you don't intend on losing power or you have backup power generator. You could keep your freezer stocked. You could keep a loaf of bread in your freezer if it comes to that. Pizza dough, you can make bread. Meats, casseroles, already cooked. All you have to heat it up like lasagna. That's enough of food. Now, say you do have a backup generator. How do you power that? So you want to make sure you have fuel, gas, propane, whatever it is that your generator runs on. Or propane for stoves, for heat. You can go with solar and hook up solar. Wood for heat. Perhaps you have a wood-burning stove or a fireplace. You could also use that for cooking in a pinch. So you want to have a fire starter, perhaps like the fat wood. You want to have cast iron pots and pans and kettles for boiling water over open fire. Say you have a pellet stove. You want to have pellets back, a supply of pellets. All right, let's talk about number 4, lights. So if it's dark, you want to have candles. Perhaps lanterns, flashlights. Glow sticks are always fun. Kids love that. When it gets dark, it's like camping. You can have each child wear a glow stick around its neck, and it helps them see in the dark if they have to get up in the middle of the night, or be seen if they're lost. Hopefully they stay inside and don't go outside and get into trouble. Number 5, you want a plan. So depending on the emergency, you might need a meeting place if home is no longer a good option or it's too dangerous. Perhaps it's been destroyed, flooding, fire, shit hit the fan, whatever. So everyone should know, one, how to shut down the house. If there is someone left in the house and the house, you just can't stay in it for whatever reason, you want to be able to shut off the power and shut off the water so that if something should happen, your property isn't completely lost, and alarms, etc. So then you should have a checklist of supplies and replenish when times are good. So say you are home, you want to keep an eye on what you do have and make sure that you have enough at all times. So I always go over it. I'm always rotating out my canned goods just so that they're not gross. Transportation. So, who knows what kind of natural disaster it is. And you have to leave. You want to have alternate types of transportation. Perhaps a boat somewhere. If there's flooding, you want to be able to get away on a boat or a kayak. Perhaps, no trails to take to your location that you're that's not your home. If you have to walk on foot, have a bike, perhaps public transportation if it's still in effect, trains and buses, and have some sort of method of payment for everyone. Everyone should have that. Also a shelter location. If you can't stay where you are, you want to locate your shelters in your community. Perhaps it's the high school down the street, and everyone should know this plan. Perhaps you have a cabin in the woods. Whatever it is, get a location, figure out what it is for alternate shelter, and make sure everybody knows where to go. And a list of contacts. I can't stress this enough. I do live off of my phone. I don't even know people's phone numbers anymore, but I have on paper a list of emergency contacts so that if my phone can't be charged or it's lost or it's stolen, I have numbers of family members that may be in a nice area that can come get me. All right, so following up from that plan, number 6 is communication. So you have a list of contacts, but how the hell are you going to reach them? So, one, you're home, it's, you're snowed in. Perhaps you can't leave for a day because it's 2016 and we have plows and salt. But say you lose power, you lose internet, you want to know what's going on, have a method to contact the outside world. A radio that's solar, battery powered, or crank powered. I think Eton makes one. It's pretty cheap, maybe $25. It has a flashlight on it too. This way you can, it's actually got it's a weather band radio too. It's got weather channels, so it'll give you updates on boating conditions. Then you want to have contact with each other. So you want to have phones. Perhaps your phone, isn't working, and you're out in the city. You want to have money for payphones if they even exist anymore. Perhaps a calling card that you can use. And or if you are out in the wilderness, walkie-talkies. If you're on the move, you want to be able to contact each other within the group. Because it's like Walking Dead, whatever. Have a list of contacts, like I said before, on actual paper, with addresses, maps. People, GPS doesn't work if the cell towers are down. All right, so you want to have actual paper maps, and you want to know how to use them. Compass, okay? If you can't contact each other, all the more reason to have an agreed upon meeting. All right, number 7, very important, safety, okay? So, if it's a real bad situation, emergency personnel will be busy. They may not be able to help you, okay? They may not be able to reach you, depending on how bad the situation is. So, you want to be able to take care of yourself and keep yourself safe as well as your family. Perhaps your neighbors, your community, whatever the case may be. So have on hand always first aid. Medications, extra medication, warm clothing, rain gear. In case you do have to leave, you want to be able to stay warm and dry. A whistle. Perhaps someone is attacking you and you want to bring attention to that, or you're falling down a well. Have a whistle. Tools. Okay? Maybe the tree fell on your house, knocked out the power. You want to patch the roof. You want to have work gloves, but dust masks, personal protection of that sort. All right? Most important, okay, especially if you're running a generator or a propane heater, you want to have smoke detectors and carbon monoxide detectors. Every year, every snowstorm, people get stupid. They've got generators in their house, propane stoves. They're sitting in their car and the exhaust is covered by snow and they die of carbon monoxide poisoning. Okay, they basically asphyxiate. And you want to make sure those detectors are battery operated, because if your main power, you lose main power to your house and they're hooked up by wire, they're not going to work. I know there's supposed to be some sort of backup for that, but batteries are safe and simple. You can replace them. Whoa, what was that? Shit. Talking about a tree falling. Let's go see. Something just fell because that tree was shaking. Let's flip this. Let's see, what was it? Something just broke off over there. What was that, Kia? What are you doing in there? Oh, look, you got your own little shelter. Come here. Get over here. Kia. Kia. No. Yep, looks like a tree branch fell. I could see it. I think, no. Oh yeah, there it is. Tree branch on that tree house just fell. Alright, no big deal. Alright, no big deal. Small branch. Although it was someone else's property. Alright, so we went over safety. Let's talk about number 8, batteries. So you want to have all sizes and you want to replenish and rotate often. So when you see a sale on batteries, pick them up. I know it's modern world and we have rechargeable batteries and stuff like that, but if you don't have power, you can't recharge batteries. So it's nice to have some regular old batteries. Number 9, repair kit. We talked about tools, but you want to have tarps, you want to have ladders, nails, hammers for your home, cordage. Perhaps you've got flooding in your basement, you want to have a hand pump, something that works without electricity for flooding, plywood for broken windows, chainsaw, duct tape, and just general tools in general. And then the last but not least, number 10, a personal go pack. Shit hits the fan, okay? You got to get out, you got to go, but you want to have something ready. You don't want to be carrying luggages, suitcases, all kinds of stupid shit. You want to have a bag with everything you need, and I'll do a separate video just on that. You want to have one for each family member, and because you may not always be able to rely on Red Cross for your personal needs, soap, perhaps tampons, whatever it may be. And you'll have safety and comfort when you get there, okay? So I'll go over a personal go pack video, what I carry in mine in the future.